Hello, I'm Patrick Wanis, human behaviour and relationship expert, PhD. Milo Yiannopoulos is just an act. He doesn't believe in anything he says. He may not even actually be gay. Milo Yiannopoulos seeks one thing, the combination of fame and money. Milo Yiannopoulos is a Greek-British national who's been fooling and trolling the American people. In fact, he gleefully boasts about being a dangerous faggot, about being an internet supervillain. In fact, that's how he became famous, by being exactly that, an internet supervillain. As senior editor of Breitbart, he's written articles such as, "Women who take birth control are unattractive and crazy," or, "Would you prefer your child had feminism or cancer?" Now think about this. What kind of person says it would be better to watch your child suffer from an incurable disease to the extent that they wither away and die before your very eyes rather than grow up and be a feminist? How does any of this fit in with the principles of Christianity, conservatism, or republicanism? It doesn't, and yet so many people have embraced him. Why? Because he tapped into the weakness of the people. That weakness is giving fame, notoriety, and money, and legitimacy to the person who makes the loudest amount of noise in the room and says the most shocking, controversial, or offensive things possible. Yes, that's what Milo Yiannopoulos has been doing. He's been trolling and fooling the people. In the Bill Maher show, notice how effeminate he is. Notice how he's changed even the way he looks to the extent of wearing pearls, not only around his neck, but pearls around his wrist. He wasn't doing that before. He's just continued to amp it up so he can get more mass media attention. He just keeps looking for ways to further inflame the rhetoric so that the media gives him more mass attention and he gets more money. And yet who's finally bringing him down? A conservative blog known as the Reagan Battalion, who produced a video where he's actually promoting adult men having sex with underage boys. Here is exactly what he said in this video. Some of those relationships between younger boys and older men, the sort of coming of age relationship, those relationships in which those older men help those young boys discover who they are and give them security and safety and provide them with love and a reliable sort of rock where they can't speak to their parents. In turn, one of the interviewers says, "It sounds like molestation to me. It sounds like Catholic priest molestation to me." Milo responds, "But you know what? I'm grateful for Father Michael. I wouldn't give nearly such good head if it wasn't for him." Now notice again what he's saying. At age 14, Milo Yiannopoulos claims that he had sex with a Catholic priest, and as a result, he got this great skill set of knowing how to give oral sex to other men. Does this make any sense to you? Now, he goes further in other interviews. In fact, he even says, well, being gay is a choice, and I choose to engage in this deviant behavior. I choose to engage in male sex, in homosexual sex. Even though he says he knows it's wrong, he knows it's deviant, he knows it's a sin, yet he continues to engage in it to the extent that on the Bill Maher show, he's actually propositioning a Republican representative and saying how great they'd be together in bed. Now, if you say this is just rhetoric, it's just talk, why? Why is it okay? In another interview with Joe Rogan, Milo goes another step further. He says, "Oh, when I was a kid, I was the sexual predator." Then he goes another step further. In another interview with Joe Rogan, he says, "You know what? I went to these parties in Hollywood numerous times, and there you see all these powerful Hollywood people drugging and having sex with underage boys and not using condoms." Wait a minute. So you were at parties where Hollywood people were drugging and having sex with underage children, but you didn't report it, you didn't say anything, you didn't name those people, you've done nothing to stop it. Does that make sense to you? Now, it's true. Milo Yiannopoulos isn't promoting pedophilia because in the interview, he actually says, no, I'm not talking about pedophilia. That's with children who are prepubescent. No, he's actually saying it's okay to have intergenerational sex between adult men and young boys. Is that okay to you? Does any of this fit in with Christian, conservative, or Republican values? And why even look at Christian, conservative, or Republican values? This is about moral decency, and it has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And he's simply gone not just too far, he's exposing himself as being interested in only one thing: fame and attention. Now the conservatives have turned on him. The invitation that he had to be a keynote speaker at CPAC, the Conservative Conference, has been withdrawn. His deal with Simon & Schuster has also been cancelled. And there's talk that people at Breitbart, other staffers, want him to be fired. Why? Because it's too much. Because there's a difference between being anti-politically correct, having free speech, and then deciding to promote things that you know are wrong, such as the article I just mentioned before. Think about how we've given in to people such as this. And yes, Lena Dunham is another example, as is Josh Duggar. Lena Dunham promoted in her book the fact that she was a sexual predator. And not enough was done about that either. Why do we allow this to happen? It's time to stop giving a platform and legitimacy to people such as Milo Yiannopoulos or even Lena Dunham, who promote either being a sexual predator or doing things that are truly illegal, either rape or statutory rape. And it's not enough for Milo Yiannopoulos, who's always been saying, I don't like victimhood, I don't like people that play victim, for him to actually play the victim himself now, when he says, well, don't you know that I'm gay and that I'm a victim of child abuse? I would never promote this. And yet you did. He even said that the legal age for sexual consent is arbitrary and oppressive. He said we talk too much about child sex abuse. Do we really? Maybe you're right. Maybe we talk too much about it and we don't do enough about it, such as stopping people like Milo Yiannopoulos from having a platform. Free speech means you can have whatever view you want. It doesn't mean that we have to agree with you, and it doesn't mean that we have to legitimize you. That's why we have something such as NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. That's right, an association that exists legally that says we promote sex between adult men and underage children. In fact, we even promote pedophilia. They have that right under the Constitution, under their right for free speech. And everyone else has the right to say, no, you're wrong. We're not going to listen to you. We're not going to promote it. What are your thoughts? Add your comments here and remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm Patrick Wanis.